how to shout just because you're saved. Folk like to shout over cars and cash and jobs and promotion. But is there anybody who can shout today over the fact that Jesus died on the cross of Calvary and his death put you back at one with God? God, I wish I had a shouting church. He then begins to recall for them all that Jesus did after he was raised from the dead, who he appeared to, who he showed himself to. And it was what Paul said when he got to the part about himself that messed me up. He said, and last of all, he appeared to me also. Paul didn't come into the scene on time like the other disciples did. Okay, let me put it where y'all can get it. I'm gonna find all the honest folk. He wasn't born into a church family. He didn't grow up in Sunday school. He didn't grow up in a house where prayer was done before every meal and bedtime every night. He wasn't the one who got a Bible as a gift when he was a teenager. He didn't have a story about being baptized by the pastor at an early age. He was one of the ones who got there late. Who am I talking to this morning? I wish I had somebody who could be honest enough to say he talking about me, because I ain't one of the ones that was born in the church. I'm not one of the ones who've been carrying a Bible since I was 6 years old. I ain't one of the ones who know all 66 books and know who wrote them and know every hymn. I'm one of the ones who got there late, but I shout today because even though I got there late, better late. I thought I'd have a better shout on that right there. I wasn't born in the church. I didn't grow up in the church. Where am I riding? Let me talk to the balcony, because y'all being bougie. Because the balcony, that's my crew up there. I wasn't born in the church. I was out on the street. I was doing my own thing. I came to Jesus late in life, but I can shout today because even though I found him late, at least I found him. Do I have any company in here today? Is there anybody in here who can shout right now? Watch this. Not based on what you made it, not based on who you are right now, not based on when you made it, but just shout on the fact that you made it. Y'all want to be cute on Easter? I wish I could find some former thug in here who would be bold enough to holler better late than never. I wish I could find some former drug pusher who would holler better late than never. I wish I could find an ex-club hopper who would stand up and holler better late than never. I wish I could find a former drug user who could stand up and say better late than never. I wish I could find some former I'm doing life for me my way who would stand up and shout better late than never. I wish I could find an ex-lesbian or an ex-homosexual or an ex-stripper, I ain't scared of none of y'all, or an ex-reefer smoker who ain't scared to stand up and say better late. I know some of y'all are gonna be super sophisticated because you've been in the church all your life, but there are a few folk in here who've been out there in the street doing their thing, living life their way, and they came to church today to give God the praise because they can say better late. Come on, snap vibe with somebody and tell them better late than never. You weren't born in the church. You didn't go to Sunday school. You don't even know what prayer meeting looked like. You were in the church but got out the church. You don't even know what deacon means. But this is what you know. I came to Jesus just as I was weary, wounded, and sad. And I found in him a resting place. Go ahead, slap somebody else and tell them better late than never. And that's my word word this morning because normally on Easter, the preacher beats up the folk who only come on Easter and make you feel bad for being here. But I got a different word for you. For all y'all who only come on Easter, better late than never. And if you open up your heart, Jesus is available to pick you up. Look at your neighbor and tell them better late than never. Now I know what some of you smart church folk, y'all sit down, I'm just talking. I know what some of you smart church folk are saying, but Paul had religion. But you can have religion and never meet Jesus. Now I'm about to get in trouble. One of the greatest articles I've read recently was in the most recent edition of Newsweek magazine. It was the cover story, and the story read like this: forget the church and follow Jesus. Yeah, I know I'm getting in trouble now, because what the writer said was the church has become so bombarded with politics and selfish agendas and materialistic gain that the church no longer stands on the principle and premise of Jesus, that if you deny yourself, he'll give you power to live his way. I'm finna get in trouble, but look at your neighbor and tell him, forget the church, I just want to follow Jesus. Y'all ain't talking to me. Look at somebody else and tell him, I ain't got time for politics, I ain't got time for denomination, I ain't got time for black church, white church, Chinese church, red church, Indian church. I just want to follow. That's what Paul said. But look at the word he added to the end of it. And last of all, he appeared to me also. Now you can't see it in the Greek. It's a sassy word in the Greek. It's a two snaps kind of word. You got to know the Greek to really get that thing. Yeah, it wasn't just a sweet, nice kind of thing. What he said was, and last of all, he appeared to me. He appeared to me just like he appeared to y'all. Okay, let me come down and get you. Here's what he said. I know some of y'all think that because I didn't see him when y'all saw him, that I don't have the anointing and authority. He said, but don't get it twisted. The lateness of my encounter does not rob me of the quality of my encounter. Preach, boy. You don't get more of him just because you met him before I did. Oh, I'm in trouble now, because that's what we do in the church. We treat people like they ain't as spiritual as us because they didn't get there as early as we did. Y'all don't want to talk to me. So we treat people like you can't serve yet, and you don't know us yet, and you ain't been here long enough yet, and you can't lead nothing yet, and you ain't been Baptist long enough, and you ain't been around here long enough. But what Paul says is, I ain't got to be there as long as you to have the same anointing as you. The same Jesus that anointed you is the same I wish I had a witness. Is there anybody up in here today who can say, I just been here 5 or 6 years, but don't think you deeper than me just because you got there before me? I wish I had somebody in here. Yeah. Tell somebody, don't look down on me based on how long you've been saved. See, the reason more folk don't come to church is because of the judgmental, hypocritical spirit. I came to get it this morning. The reason more folk don't feel comfortable coming to church is because they got to deal with judgmental, hypocritical people who've been doing the same dirty stuff they've been doing, but show up to church and act like they've been clean all day life. So you looking down on the brother because he showed up smelling like reefer. How you know what reefer smell like? So we got folks scared to come to church, dying to be delivered, need demons run out of them, but they scared to come to church because the devil has used hypocritical, sanctimonious, perfect, holier than thou church folk to step up their noses at people and make people feel uncomfortable coming in the church. The church ain't a club for perfect people. The church is a hospital, and everybody, including me, got some sickness. Look at your neighbor and tell him, you just as sick as I am. So let me That's all right, baby. Y'all come sit right down here. Some of them folk looking at y'all like that, living worse than y'all living. Don't even worry about it. Come on, I came to kill a demon today because I'm sick and tired of hypocritical, sanctimonious, holier than thou church folk that's working for the devil and keeping people in bondage. I came to serve notice on the devil today that from this day forward, I don't care what you're doing, I don't care what you've done, this is the place where strongholds get pulled down, where shackles get broken, where demons get running.